Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Jaya Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Shira Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 5, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness, text 15. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay. Translation, nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. Purport. The Sanskrit word vibhu means the Supreme Lord who is full of unlimited knowledge, riches, strength, fame, beauty, and renunciation. He is always satisfied in himself, undisturbed by sinful or pious activities. He does not create a particular situation for any living entity, but the living entity bewildered by ignorance desires to be put into certain conditions of life, and thereby his chain of action and reaction begins. A living entity is by superior nature full of knowledge. Nevertheless, he is prone to be influenced by ignorance due to his limited power. The Lord is omnipotent, but the living entity is not. The Lord is vibhu, or omniscient, but the living entity is anu, or atomic. Because he is a living soul, he has the capacity to desire by his free will. Such desire is fulfilled only by the omnipotent Lord. And so, when the living entity is bewildered in his desires, the Lord allows him to fulfill those desires, but the Lord is never responsible for the actions and reactions of the particular situation which he may be desired. Being in a bewildered condition, therefore, the embodied soul identifies himself with the circumstantial material body and becomes subjected to the temporary misery and happiness of life. The Lord is the constant companion of the living entity as Paramātmā, or the Supersoul, and therefore he can understand the desires of the individual soul, as one can smell the flavor of a flower by being near it. Desire is a subtle form of conditioning for the living entity. The Lord fulfills his desire as he deserves. Man proposes and God disposes. The individual is not, therefore, omnipotent in fulfilling his desires. The Lord, however, can fulfill all desires, and the Lord, being neutral to everyone, does not interfere with the desires of the minute, independent living entities. However, when one desires Kṛṣṇa, the Lord takes special care and encourages one to desire in such a way that one can attain him and be eternally happy. The Vedic hymns therefore declared, Esha u hi eva, sādhu karma karati tam yam ebhyo, lokabhya unanishite. Esha u eva sādhu karma karati yomado ninisate. The Lord engages a living entity in pious activities so that he may be elevated. The Lord engages him in impious activities so that he may go to hell. Kauṣītakī Upaniṣad. Agyo jantu anishoyam atmana sukha dukhayo ishvaro payeto gachet swagam vas vibram evacha. The living entity is completely dependent in his distress and happiness. By the will of the Supreme, he can go to heaven or hell, as a cloud is driven by the air. Therefore, the embodied soul, by his immemorial desire to avoid Kṛṣṇa consciousness, causes his own bewilderment. Consequently, although he is constitutionally eternal, blissful, and cognizant, due to the littleness of his existence, he forgets his constitutional position of service to the Lord and is thus trapped by nescience. And under the spell of ignorance, the living entity claims that the Lord is responsible for his conditional existence. The Vedanta Sutras also confirm this. Vasimya nigrane nasapakit satsvat tatahi dasyati. The Lord neither hates nor likes anyone, though he appears to. End of purport. Om jñānenāvṛtaṁ jñānanāśhalakya chakṣumitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Katayata Yasmin Duskurum Sukurum Bhavet Visute Vipriyati Shri Chaitanya Nandanamitam Vanchakalpatarubhischa Kripasinnu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Have you ever asked yourself, why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? Okay, I think you agree. Yes. I thought I was good. I was doing everything right, what was expected of me. And still I have to suffer. Still people disrespect me. Still reverses are there. What did I do wrong? So, and sometimes, many times we blame God. God, why did you do this to me? I've been your devotee for so long. Why did you do this to me? I've been, looking after my family. I've been good in school. And especially when there's especially when it's close to home, the suffering. It can be from a family member. It can be from a friend that stabs you in the back. So many things that go wrong when we thought we were doing everything right, we're on the right path. So why is this happening? And so we need to understand what's our position. What's the actual situation we're in. Because if we did everything for happiness, why does suffering still come? I don't think we did anything for our unhappiness. Like, everything we did for 20 years of school, if you're doing PhD, it's like, how much longer? Extra 7 years. If you're traveling, if you're working 9 to 5 overtime, and then you try to do something just nice for someone else, but they don't appreciate it. So why is if you're trying to do what you think is going to bring happiness, why does suffering still come? So the problem is that we're in ignorance of our situation. Kṛṣṇa explains, in the material world, it's a place of suffering and it's temporary. In our ignorance that we're covered by, we think that this material world will bring unlimited happiness and it will last forever. The car you buy, the house you buy, the things you buy, you think they'll last forever. And no. Even think about it, all the things that you desired, how many, if we were going to do percentage-wise, out of 100% of all the things you desired, how much percent do you actually get? 0? No, you get some stuff. That's really bad karma. You get some things, right? You get some clothes. Some people respect you sometimes. Some money is coming through. Some desires get fulfilled. Let's say, okay, we're going to be optimistic. Let's say you get like 75%. Okay? That's optimistic. Yeah? You may think it's less, but you get more. Okay, so out of all the things that you desired and you got, how much percentage of those things work properly as you like? Say you get a car, and everything works fine, you service it right and it works fine. But sometimes you get some things, like I'm making a video here of the class, and I bought a tripod to put the camera on, and I just discovered that one of the legs are broken. So sometimes you get everything that, you get what you desire, but it doesn't work as you planned. And this can work with relationships. I'm going to be with this person, I'll be so happy, but maybe it doesn't work out. It can happen with a job. Yes, I'll get this job and I'm going to be set for life. I'm going to be so satisfied. After a month, you hate that job. I'm going to enroll into this course in university and I'm going to love it so much. It's going to be so interesting. You find it most tedious and you just want to change right away. I don't know how many university students have changed their courses, maybe 2 or 3 times even. Because it just didn't work properly for you. You got it, you desired it, you got it, but just... Okay, so what percentage would you give? Maybe 50, 30, 40%, maybe it works out, right? Okay, now the third part. So you desired something, you got it, it works properly. Out of those things, how many of them you get to keep? 0. Sure. Okay, now you're right. Yes, you don't get to keep any of it, unfortunately. You desire something, you get it, it works properly, but still, it goes. And that's for everything. Even say if you accumulated $1 million, or billions of rands, because we're in South Africa, billions of rands. Right, it's in the bank account, but then when you leave this body, you can't take it with you, right? No? Like you get reincarnated next life and you say, you know, you go to the bank, what's a FNB? Say, hey, you know what, this was my account in the past life. Can I? You can't do that. And this goes for everything. All the degrees you've developed, the education, the skills you've attained with this body, the relationships you've had, very deep and meaningful, it's all gone. But we think that our situation is going to last forever and it's going to be full of happiness. And you may get some happiness, we give you that, yes. There's some happiness there, but happiness plus temporary equals misery. It doesn't last forever. But what's our desire? To live forever, to be eternal, to have eternal happiness, to be full of knowledge, not to be covered by ignorance, not to be chasing mirages wherever we go, thinking there'll be water and it'll satisfy my thirst. We have a thirst for happiness, and we're looking in the desert of this material world. We're getting caught up in this material body, which is also temporary, full of ignorance. Sorry to paint a black picture of our situation. But sometimes here in the Hare Krishna temple, we're not pessimistic, we just deal with reality. So what is the reality then? So the reality, there is a place where we can be eternally happy. There is a situation, but it's not in this material world. It's not within this temporary realm of the material world. So we need to be in an environment that's like the spirit soul. I'm sure, I don't know if anyone's here for the first time at all? Great. Oh, one. Yes. Okay. Then we must talk about the soul. So, the real self, because if you don't know who you are, you cannot be happy. It's not possible, right? Like if you look at a map, you want to find out where to go. You need to know where you are first. Otherwise, you'll just go the wrong direction. So we need to know who we are. That's the first step of spiritual life. So the Bhagavad Gita is revealing Deyosmin yata dehe komanam yamanam jara tatata hantara prapti dhiras tata numuyati, that the soul is passing from babyhood to childhood to youth to old age, and then at death the soul goes into another body. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Someone in knowledge, someone who knows reality, doesn't get bewildered by these changes. So the body has so many identifications, labels that we have, you know. Can be race. I'm Indian, I'm Australian, I'm American, I'm British. But this can change. I know many South Africans, they move to Australia, they get Australian citizenship. You make a vow at the ceremony, yes, I am now renouncing my old country and I give my life to this new country. I'm Australian. How you going, mate? Good on ya. You know, I'm part of the best sporting nation in the world. Just joking. I know South Africans hate Australia for sport. So yes, you can change your nationality. You may identify with the color of your skin. Here's an history of that. But Michael Jackson has changed his color. He's still the same person. Subject to change. You can change that. You can change your job. My first job, now I'm a monk, but my first job was a rat catcher. That's not who I am. But you can change that job. Some people identify with their job. Some people identify with their social status. I'm rich, I'm poor. That can also change. Some people identify with religion. You know, I'm Christian, Muslim, Buddhist. You can change that too. Some people even identify with their gender, male, female. One can change. But what stays the same? Who's witnessing the changes of all these labels? That's the spirit soul. Even this body, you can see. Okay, I need a volunteer. Can you volunteer? Yeah. Okay, come stand here. Okay, give him a clap. Okay, face the audience. Okay, now all I want you to do is point to your shoulder. Very good. Point to your head, point to your ear, point to your nose, point to your chest. Now point to you. Yeah, point to you, the owner of this. That's your chest, but point to you. Yeah. That's like what? Your lungs?
No, inside the heart. Okay.
Inside the heart?
Yes, inside the heartbeat.
Okay, thank you so much. So you can even see in our language, we say my hand, my head, my shirt, my jacket. And we're all separate from these things, you know. The owner is separate. We don't say I hand, we don't say I head. You may say, you know, iPhone, but you're not your phone. So we are different from the objects. So who's the owner of this body? Who's witnessing the changing body from childhood to youth to old age? Who's doing that? That's the soul, the spirit soul inside. That's us. That's who we really are. And what are we doing? We're doing everything for the body only. You know? We never do anything for the soul. Just like we're like a driver in a car. This body is like a machine and we're the driver, the soul. It's just like someone who drives to the, what do you call it? The garage and then wants to pump up, you know, pump some petrol in. And then he pulls out well, you have someone who does it for you. But, but imagine there's no one there, you have to do it yourself. And then, you know, instead of putting it into the car, you put it into your mouth. That doesn't make sense. There's another story, one lady, she had like a cage with a bird in it. And she used to polish this cage so much. You know, put nice decorations, polish it, everything like this. She was so absorbed in decorating the cage, suddenly there was this bad smell. What was that? The bird has died, it's dead.
That drama a few weeks ago.
He did the drama even, so it's not by accident that we're talking about it. Yes. You know, we're forgetting to give what the soul needs. So what does the soul need? You know, that's what we need to know. So we explain that the soul's eternal, it doesn't die, it lives forever. You know, we see on the news people dying, we see family members dying, friends dying, but we always think, I will never die. Because that eternal nature is so strong. The soul is full of knowledge and full of consciousness. Right? This table has no consciousness. But if I knock on someone else, he may hit me back. Because he's conscious. It's full of knowledge. Whereas the body is full of ignorance. It's always dead, actually. It's never alive. It's the soul that's activating it. And the best part of the soul that I like, so it's eternal, full of knowledge, it's full of bliss, happiness. That's the nature of the soul. The body is temporary, full of ignorance, and full of misery. There's so many, much more pain receptors in the body than there is pleasure. And, but where do we get real happiness from? Real pleasure? We have been brainwashed by a materialistic society that maybe three main things are sex, money, and influence. You know, prestige. These things will give you ultimate happiness. But if that was true, then those who are doing OnlyFans will be self-realized souls. You know, they got everything. They got the three. They engage in sexual activity. They get a lot of money, and everyone knows them. They're famous. But they have miserable lives. No one would want to have a life like that. People look down upon them. So, where does real happiness come from? It's from love, relationships. We want to love and be loved. That's pretty much where it comes from. That juice of sharing relationships with family members, with friends, you know, with a spouse. These are like the juice of life that we're looking for. Unfortunately, when the love is under the conditions of the material world, of this connected to this material body, it's bound by time, space, and thought. Time waits for no man, right? You can have, so many times we've been to a funeral, and you felt so bad, for this, losing this connection with this person. A grandparent, a parent, a friend. You had some relationship, and now you can't exchange love anymore, and it hurts so much. The love is bound by space. I don't know if you experienced this in school, that you had like a best friend in like 1 year level, maybe in primary school. And it's like, yeah, we're best friends, we always hang out forever. Then you change classes, and you're not so close anymore. You have a new best friend. Just because of space, the love disappears. And and that love is bound by thought. Thinking of the person is not the same as having the person there with you. So, where to find such a love? Where it's not bound by time, space, and thought. So this is when spiritual life comes in. We need to fulfill our essence, This is called, in Sanskrit, Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan means eternal, and Dharma means the essence of something. Some people interpret it as religion or duty, but the meaning given by Prabhupada was the essence of something. So the essence of water is that it's wet. The essence of fire is that it has heat. The essence of sugar is that it's sweet. You take these things out, you can't call it sugar, you can't call it water, you can't call it fire. So what's the essence of the soul? The essence of the soul is to serve. And this applies to every single living entity. Doesn't matter what religion you are, doesn't matter, even if you're an atheist, you still have to serve. Someone has to serve their family, a husband, wife, the kids, back and forth, it's going on. You go to work, you serve your boss. Even the president, he says, give me your vote, I do so much service for you. No one is exempt from this service. No one. Even some person who says, I'm off the grid, I don't want to have anything to do with society, I'm homeless on the street, I just don't want to be part of anything. I don't serve no one. Still, his belly will grumble and he has to serve his belly. So you can't take that away from us, that service. That we need to fulfill that. And now, this is when God comes into the picture. It's like, yes, I know I'm a soul, I know I need to serve, but why do I have to serve God? So, as described in the Bhagavad Gita, we are a spirit soul, and God is the supreme soul. And that supreme soul can have many names according to his unlimited activities and relationships. Kṛṣṇa, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, what's it, Zulu? Onkulu. So many names for the Supreme Soul, describing his unlimited qualities and activities, because he has unlimited relationships. So we are a part and parcel of that Supreme Soul. We have the same quality as God. We're eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. God is also eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. But we're not the same in quantity. Just like an ocean and the drop from that ocean. The quality is that we have salt in the drop and salt in the ocean, but the quantity is different. Just like the sun ray and the sun globe itself. It has heat and light in the sun ray, and the sun globe also has heat and light, but the quantity is different. It's much more bigger. He is very big and powerful, and we're very small. So the idea is that to fulfill this service love that we need to give that service to God, to Kṛṣṇa. This is called yoga. Yoga means to connect to the Supreme. And in this way, one can experience a love that's overflowing. You may say, I know this, I've heard this talk before. I mean, like, there's always someone in a church, some religious institution, and they just say, okay, give up everything and, give it all to God. I can't see him, I don't know what he looks like, and now you're just telling me to give everything to him. Where is it for me? Do I get something out of it, or is it, okay, there we go. Do I get something out of it? Do I miss out? What about my family duties? What about my friends? Like, how do I exist in this world? Do I just become like a hermit? Do I have to become a monk like you and shave my head and wear orange clothes? No. That's not what's being told here. The example is given if you want to water a tree. Do you water each leaf, twig, and branch? No, you water the root of the tree. Because if you water each twig and leaf and branch, it won't satisfy any part of the tree at all. You may think you are, but you're not. But if you water the roots of the tree, then you can fully satisfy every part of the tree beyond its own capacity. So if we give our service love, love means to serve without wanting anything in return. If you give that to Kṛṣṇa, then Kṛṣṇa reciprocates with you, and he is unlimited, so that reciprocation is like beyond your own capacity. The love you receive is beyond your own capacity. You start overflowing with love, and it starts to affect those around you, your family, your friends, your workmates, your schoolmates, university, whoever you meet. You'll just be a beacon of love, because you put it all in one place. You put it all in for Kṛṣṇa. You water the root of our existence. You become like the best son, the best daughter. You become the best mother and father. You become the best friend, the best stranger. Because you're just doing what pleases the Supreme, and God is all good. So if we do His will, and then everyone will benefit. It's described just like if you want to switch many lights on, but there's one switch that switches all of them on. So that is when we give our love to Kṛṣṇa. So the process that we present here, unfortunately we have a desire to live separate from Kṛṣṇa, to try and be the Supreme Lord. That is the problem. We want to take His position. Kṛṣṇa can't help His God. He just is. But He's very thoughtful and merciful. He's very kind. Because even though we're in this material world and recovered, He comes with you in your heart as well as the Supersoul. We always think we're going through so much stress, anxieties, and problems, and no one can understand actually what we're going through. But God exactly knows how you're feeling and sees exactly what you're going through. And even if you've done the most heinous activities, the most embarrassing thing, He's seen it all and He's still there for you. He's there in the heart of every living entity, the tree, the worm in stool, the bird in the sky, the animals, even in the germs. He's there. What kind of nice person is this? They describe this material world to be like a prison, and this body is like your prison suit. And Kṛṣṇa, He's your best friend. Imagine you go to court, you're sentenced for some crime, 20 years in jail, and then your friend, he's there, he didn't do any crime, and says, I'll come with you. That's a friend. That's Kṛṣṇa. That's the type of person He is. So the Bhagavad Gita is showing, Kṛṣṇa is speaking about Himself, how He's actually there at every step of the way trying to help you. He never does anything for our unhappiness. Everything He does is for our happiness. There was one example someone was giving. A bird flew into his house and it was freaked out. Oh no, I'm inside, how do I get out? And he's trying to catch it and then, let it out. And he's chasing all over the house and the bird is flying, and finally it finds the windowsill, but then it gives this look back like, hey, you tried to kill me, but I'm getting away. You tried to... and then it flies away. So sometimes we think Kṛṣṇa does that to us. You know, we think we know what's right thing to do, but we're always running into danger. And then Kṛṣṇa puts obstacles in the way. You know, it's like, why is he putting obstacles in the way? And he doesn't care, what? But no, he's actually trying to guide you into our greatest happiness, which means to fall in love with him. This is the greatest happiness. So the easiest way is to connect back by doing bhakti yoga. Through love, we connect. Bhakti means love and devotion or service. So the easiest and most sublime way, which was given 500 years ago, is by chanting the holy name. What we just did, chanting the holy name, that's the way to purify your desire, your misconception, all the misconceptions, all the ignorance in our heart that we think we can be happy without God. That gets destroyed. And our original love for God awakens. That's the easiest way, just by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. It starts with that, it also ends with that. So you got the ending already. You got the goal already. But it's also the means to purify. And I don't know what your experience was when you first were in Kirtan. I'll explain my one. So when I first came to the temple for the Sunday Feast program, I just came out of a breakup, so I was like full of depression. It's like, oh no, we were together for so long, and how will I ever get over this depression? You know, heartbroken. And then come into the temple room, and the thing that shocked me, first of all, because I come from a Hindu background, so I'm used to Hindu temples, and everyone's Indian, and they're praying. But I saw all these Aussies in there, wearing dhotis and all this. I go, wow, yeah, this is what's going on here? This is interesting, And then they started kirtan, and from the first sound, from the first mantra, all that pain in my heart that I thought would never disappear just disappeared. I was like, wow, I thought it'd take like years to get over this. And it just went for free. What happened here? Where to go? I thought I had to work on myself and everything, and things just I got over, not over it, but I was like, that pain was gone. And then they started, moving up and down, started dancing, and the beats we were playing, oh my God, I was like, because I was into like drum and bass and break beats, and the beats on the mridanga, I was like, yes, this is awesome, I thought, and look, they're dancing in the middle of the day, they don't even have to wait till the weekend or, for a nightclub, or not. They're doing it now, it's like, okay, with the lights on and everything, they don't need no strobe lights or dark lighting. Okay, yeah, this is a real party, and I didn't know you could do this in a temple. I thought you had to be serious, religious, no fun at all, no smiling. Pray, Just put your money in the hundi and go, But yeah, they're having a great time. And then it just starts to take over, and then one of the monks pulls me in. And then I lost it, and I went with my parents, and my mom was like, okay, we lost him now, And I mean, just dancing with that, I mean, I've been to many parties, festivals, whatever else you could say, and I never had such an experience like that. I was just like, wow, this is something special. And it's all connection to Kṛṣṇa, to God. Because it's explained that Kṛṣṇa is the supreme enjoyer. So who better to party with? So I'll stop here. You can ask some questions or some comments.
Oneself, when one is becoming too relaxed, how do you know that it's not negligence or complacency? Because in the scripture it speaks that one can attain all the knowledge, but without humility it's worth nothing. So how does one, what are the symptoms of coolness and calmness and humility if one had to externalize it? And then also make sure that you're not being complacent and too relaxed.
Okay.
And I ask this because you seem like the person that would give a proper answer. You seem very calm something cool and great. Seemingly.
Seemingly. I'm very stressed, actually. Yes. So let me see if I got your question right. So that your understanding is that one should be calm and humble to progress in spiritual life. How can one see if they're being negligent? What are the signs? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like too calm, not doing anything. Like, it's fine, I'm calm.
Oh, this is not, okay. How do you know if you're lazy? is that the question?
If you say so.
You're the one asking, so. Is it? Okay.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. Yes. So, just like any relationship, one needs to make a sacrifice. Sacrifice means that it's going to hurt. So, what is our sacrifice that we need to make in Krishna consciousness? That's what we have to analyze. So, the main sacrifice is the chanting of the holy name. That's pretty much, we have to sacrifice our tongue, our time, and our ears to the sound vibration of the holy name. This is pretty much where everything is based on. We've been asked so obviously when we start, like, we're chanting on beads. So if you can see, I have some beads. And we're asked to chant 16 rounds on the beads, and there are 108 beads. In order to become considered more serious, to take initiation, to connect to Krishna's disciplic succession, and then one gets more empowerment to chant more, to become closer, to show their love more. And then on top of that, there are 4 regulative principles that one vows. So this is not in the beginning. So if you're beginning Krishna consciousness, just chant. But if you want to become a serious practitioner, then there's these 16 rounds and these 4 regulative principles which you vow to honor, which means to never eat meat again, including fish and eggs, to never engage in illicit sex, to never take any intoxicant, and to never gamble, like whole life, you promise. And then one takes shelter of a spiritual master who's a representative of Krishna in that line. So we need to guide ourselves towards that goal. Initiation means just to begin, actually, to initiate. So if you're wondering if you haven't got initiation, then one should try and steer towards that goal. It may not happen overnight, but one can gradually build up the number of rounds. One can slowly give things up. And the easiest way to advance is to associate with advanced devotees, those who are already on the path and flying on that path. So if we are feeling lazy or negligent, not inspired, then we should go close to those who are inspired on this path. Is that okay?
Yeah, I have a personal question. It's troubling me a lot. Just give me a moment. How does one deal with one's death of the spiritual master, or like leaving the body? Like, how do you console yourself?
Yeah. So the spiritual master doesn't die.
Yeah, but the relationship is severed, like physically. So.
Okay. It's said that the spiritual master doesn't die, but he goes into samadhi, which means trance. He's eternally serving the Lord. He's a resident of the spiritual world. So he does not die. And this connection is not like a material connection, like with one's parents or the body, because we have connection with our parents because of the bodily connection. and that gets ended. But the connection with the spiritual master, because he's a representative of Kṛṣṇa, it's an eternal connection. It doesn't end. It keeps going, and actually one can further deepen their relationship. The spiritual master may leave our physical proximity in this material world, but he is accessible. He has more ability. Well, we also have more ability to access him through one's heart, because the spiritual master is the manifestation outside the body of the Supersoul of Kṛṣṇa, or God in the heart. He manifests as the spiritual master. So one can go within, actually. And then we connect, when he was on the planet, we connect through vibhu, which means his physical form. And that creates great inspiration to continue one's service. But then the most important is the connection through vani, his instruction. That is the personal association with the spiritual master. If you fulfill that instruction, you can fully associate with the spiritual master. And he gave us the most important instruction, which is the chanting of the 16 rounds. And one can chant in such a way to their spiritual master that I just want to be with you. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It all becomes ethereal now. Those who are not practicing this line of spiritual life cannot understand. So that's why our love for Kṛṣṇa is all expressed through the spiritual master, and the reciprocation all comes through the spiritual master. He's the clear via medium. So that's how we experience love that's beyond time, space, and thought. It's all with the spiritual master.
So today is like a special day. I won't go into it, but why does it hurt so much? I feel fallible, like I know I have understanding, but it hurts so much because the relationship is like irreplaceable. Excuse me. And I feel like I have this expectation, but the devotees, that they're gonna like replace that, and it's not working. And I feel
It doesn't get replaced.
Yeah, I feel like the only one holding it together should have Prabhupada, because then I keep reminding myself.
Like I said, it's an eternal relationship. Many of us never met Srila Prabhupada directly, but we've been practicing for so long, and we feel a connection with Srila Prabhupada, isn't it? You never met him physically. Then how? It's by his Vani, message, by his instruction in his books. Because he's a resident of the spiritual world, and we're connecting on the spiritual platform in relationship to service to Kṛṣṇa. So in that way, Prabhupada will be our example and our anchor how to be the best disciple, even without the physical presence of the spiritual master. And this grieving is the lifetime experience now. But that energy of grief will be pushed towards trying to fulfill the instruction of the spiritual master. That's where that energy will go. This is not the material relationship when one grieves for some connection on the material platform. So it's called service and separation. So we have grief, but what are we going to do with that grief? We're going to serve Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa's representative. Okay? Yeah. Anyone else? Oh, he's closer. Give it to him. Okay, he's coming. Jagannatha, please.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
You spoke in the beginning about our desires and them not being fulfilled, but at the same time you were speaking about desire at the center of fulfilling this eternal relationship. Could you speak about how desire then changes? Because if it's the same thing, desire for material or otherwise ephemeral happiness, but how do we turn that desire for ephemeral happiness to a desire for eternal happiness? Is it desire that's changing? Is it the instrument that's changing? and what changes that? What's changing? If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. So the question is how to pretty much change desire from something material to something spiritual. Yeah. So yes, well, the short answer is chant Hare Krishna. That always works. Yes, we have to somehow, and it starts not just by chanting, by hearing about our situation and hearing about the goal of life. Why would you have a desire to go to Australia? Because you heard about the place. Oh, they got kangaroos there, you know, you can go to the beach, but just watch out for the sharks, you know. So stuff like that, you know, you hear about Australia, oh, there's so much sunshine, and you want to go. So desire starts with what you hear about. So the more you hear about the spiritual world, you hear about Kṛṣṇa and what it's like to serve him, then you feel like, okay, let's do this, you know. When you hear about this love that's beyond time, space, and thought, it's like, okay, that's what I want to taste. So by reading Bhagavad Gita, other books like Srimad Bhagavatam, then you can definitely have that desire. The desire will begin. But if those other desires that get in the way, that are keeping us conditioned to this world, then one needs to start purifying. And the best way to purify oneself of those desires is the easiest and simple way and powerful is chanting the holy name. But we have so many other services, you know, coming to the temple, reading the books, doing some service, you know, sweep the floor, cut some vegetables. And just like when you go to the gym, it's always easier with a gym buddy, right? Feel more inspired. So spiritual life is not isolated. It's not like a one-man race. No, it's a team sport. And usually when you're around those who are on the same goal, then it's much easier. You know, if you're sitting here by your own and it's just me speaking, you'll be like, man, why just me? You'll be uncomfortable. But because you say, oh wait, there's a whole bunch of us that are interested in spiritual life. Okay, you know, maybe I'll find a buddy who can spot me in my spiritual upliftment. Yeah, is that okay? Wonderful. Okay, you had another question. Very good.
Okay, yes, predestined reality. How do I arrive at the temple, or any person for that matter, and then receive this new reality? Or how do Hare Krishna find one or two of me at St. George's Mall and clears the dust of material reality? That's my question.
Yes, very good question. Yes, so this is the mercy of Kṛṣṇa. Causeless mercy. There's no real reason, actually. It's causeless. Krishna is just so kind, and the devotees are probably more kind than Krishna. Because they understand Krishna's desires, that he wants to make everyone happy, to join him in the spiritual world. So then the devotee shares that desire. He says, let me fulfill Krishna's desire. And then he somehow goes out on the streets, goes anywhere, and gives them the holy name, gives them Prabhupada's books, or some prasadam, and inspires people to further go on the path. So not everyone takes it right away, but something goes in, a seed of desire goes in. When I was 10 years old, I saw these Hare Krishnas singing in the street. You know what I thought? These people are useless. They are just like some white people trying to be Hindu. They're just some crazy sex cult who just smoke ganja. That's what I thought. Look what happened. So we are bombarded by this material world, by all the advertisement, on the platform, the senses, the mind, the intelligence. But the spirituality of these books, the sound vibration, the holy name, that cuts through all of that and hits the core of the heart. And then comes out. And now you're here. But also it takes your desire too. So it's not like it's automatic. 3 people play a role in that interaction, like you say in George Street Mall. That, St. George's Mall, sorry. There's 3 people involved. There's the devotee. Okay, let me convince this person to get into spiritual life. And then there's you. It's like, should I do it or not? And then there's one more. There's Kṛṣṇa in your heart and Kṛṣṇa in his heart. And then if his desire is stronger than yours, then Kṛṣṇa will do the work within you. Kṛṣṇa has a hard job. He has to fulfill everyone's desire, There's like someone who's rich, he has so much money. Oh, please don't let anyone steal this. And there's a thief, and he's thinking, oh, okay, God, please give me opportunity to steal this guy's money. How's it? So it's not an easy job, but somehow you got the mercy, the closest mercy. Congratulations. Anyone else? Yes? Haribo, just hold this thing for
When I
me.
said I'm new to this temple, not new to Kṛṣṇa consciousness, I moved down from Paramātmā
Okay.
recently, so this is the first time I'm here at this temple.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
you've been in Kṛṣṇa.
I've been wanting to come for a while now, so
Okay.
yeah, finally made it.
You like the vibe?
Yeah, it's a lot more different from Sri Dayanattai, Gorahari. A lot smaller, more warm, I would say.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree also.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it's a nice, like kind of small but warm community. It's really cool.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank you so much. Okay, oh yes, one last one. Sorry. Should finish the
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo. If you are a person that have a short temper and people know that you have a short temper and they are taking advantage of it, how are you going to control it?
Wait, they're taking a
People know that you have a short temper,
yes.
and when they are around you, they know that you always have short temper. You are a short temper person.
Yes.
How are you going to control that short temper that you have so that people can't be seeing you like you are a bad person or you are angry? You are angry a lot. Because like people are seeing me like I'm angry a lot, or like I have some things inside me, like some things like past tense inside me. Any little thing that someone did, like it triggered me a lot.
Yes.
Even that thing I won't make me to go to prison in Goodwood, which I was fighting for my own rights.
Yes.
But the way I put it is like people are seeing like I'm angry. Even when before the judge even see, before I won the case, it take a lot of time. Are you going to go out of short temper anger? Because
Yes, I understand. Yes. So is your question how to control this anger?
I think he's trying to ask how not to let people take advantage of your short temper.
yes, how
Okay.
can I control the anger?
Oh, okay, so they may
Yes.
incite you and provoke you.
Yeah,
Okay, understand.
because people is taking advantage of it and they know that
Yes.
once
yes.
you just talk something that
Yes.
is not truth or it's like a lie
Mhm.
in my presence, I will just
Yes.
spark.
Yes, yes. Yes, we are provoked in many ways in this world. And everyone has their sensitive places. If someone says that thing to me, then watch out. The only way we can sort of conquer anger is to somehow have something in our lives that we feel that's steady and I can always turn to. If my anger, it's something that's more powerful than my anger. So the more they provoke, they can try and provoke this anger out of me. But ultimately, if I'm feeling this satisfaction and love from Kṛṣṇa, from God, then, it's kind of like just some small animals, trying to annoy someone bigger. Because you are satisfied, you are steady in yourself. So this can only happen when one has a deep relationship with God, with Kṛṣṇa. And if we are caught in such a situation, we feel anger is coming, we should pray to Kṛṣṇa. Oh, this situation is coming, these people are provoking me. Please give me the strength that the anger doesn't take over. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
This happened one time to me, actually. You want me to tell you? Someone provoked my anger. It was in the temple. And so I was serving, I was doing the devotees' breakfast, and I was serving in the kitchen. And then one devotee said something just like hit me right in the core of the heart. And I felt so much anger. How could, I was thinking inside, how could you say such a thing? I'm trying so hard, and and you say this to me as if like I don't care. And I was thinking inside. And then I prayed to Kṛṣṇa. I go, oh no, just help me now. I don't want to do or say the wrong thing.
Okay.
So then I went out of the kitchen and I grabbed the beads. I found a place. I grabbed the beads, and I complained to Kṛṣṇa. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa. I'm trying my best, and these people say this to me, and Hare Kṛṣṇa, 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 Hare, I cry and everything. And I'm trying my best, and I don't understand what's supposed to happen here, and then and why are they saying this? Why are they treating me so badly? Because I'm angry. And then I just held on to these beads, kept chanting. After maybe 10 minutes, it felt like someone just came and just comforted me and said, that's okay. Don't, how mothers do? They say, it's okay, it's okay. And it felt like Kṛṣṇa did that. It felt like Kṛṣṇa just, it's okay, I got you, just calm down. And then I calmed down, I felt relieved and comforted. I'm protected, I felt protected. And then I went back to the kitchen, finished the service, and I'm okay. I didn't feel like I needed an apology or anything like that. Because Kṛṣṇa is there.
That means
Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine for me to have the beads. I need to buy the
clicker.
Yes.
Yes.
I need to get it today.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, sir, for your question. I think time is there. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. We'll continue for the next part of the program. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Rama.